Now, some people might tell you that going no contact with a narcissistic person is mean and cruel and just as narcissistic. How can you cut people off? How can you cut family off? How can you cut so-and-so off? That is mean and that is cruel and that is toxic. Well, it depends on why you are going no contact. You see, you can go no contact to play games with somebody, and that would be mean and cruel, by the way. Or you can go no contact in a way that actually lets people know that you're doing it because you love them. And I believe that no contact should be done out of love. And that is what we're going to talk about. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, going no contact in and of itself does not necessarily mean that it is a cruel punishment unless you are in fact doing it to play games. And we've talked about this before. If you're going no contact for a temporary period of time or whatever, you're in fact playing games. You might as well call it the silent treatment, or you're ghosting them, right? And that can start to get into the territory of becoming narcissistic. And that's not what we talk about when we're talking about going no contact. Going no contact is a decision that you make because the relationship is so toxic and there's just pain going back and forth between you and another person, no matter what the issues are. That is what narcissistic abuse is. And when there's so much pain going on in this relationship and no growth is taking place whatsoever, there's only degradation in the relationship. There's only demeaning and devaluing. There's only hostility and anger and the possibility of even violence. This is when you need to decide to go no contact. And now watch this. We are going to decide to go no contact, not out of being mean and cruel, but out of love, out of loving the other person. And I want you to see going no contact in this way. For those of you who are struggling to know whether or not going no contact is the right thing, how it might make you look as an individual, if it makes you mean or cruel, I want you to understand that going no contact can be out of love. Let's look at some ways it could be out of love. Number one, it says this. Going no contact to end the relationship says this: I love you and myself too much to allow the further degradation of our personal characters. I love you and myself too much to allow us to further degrade ourselves, to destroy our lives. And this is an important one to understand because when you are in a toxic relationship with a narcissistic person, abuse is progressive. It does not get better. And so at some point, somebody has to become smart enough, and typically it's you, it's me, to realize this is not getting better, it is getting worse. And you're not going to be able to do positive reinforcement. You're not going to be able to do positive projection and fix the situation. It's only going to further anger and aggravate a narcissistic person to one-up themselves and prove to you how angry they are and possibly do something really, really dumb that has lifelong consequences even. And what you're saying by going no contact before that is you're saying, I love you and myself too much to see anything worse take place. All right? That's out of love, that you're ending a toxic relationship before further damage is done. Number two, it says this: I love you too much to contribute and to be a contributing part to your anger. So what you're saying in this is you're saying, listen, I see that you're an angry person, and I see that me being in your life is contributing to your anger. It's contributing. Now, it's not saying you're the reason for their anger. Don't get me wrong. You are not the reason for the narcissist's anger in life. Their anger is their anger. They had it before you. They will have it after you. But what you're acknowledging is that, listen, me being here in some way is contributing to it. It's putting fuel on that fire of rage inside of a narcissistic individual. So by going no contact, you could be saying, I love you too much to contribute to that fire. You are already a burning fire of anger and hate. You're a ball of hateful fire flames, whatever. I don't want to be any more kerosene being put on that on that fire. I don't want to do that. I care for you too much. So you go work on yourself. I'm not going to be any more fuel for that. Because in a narcissistically abusive relationship, you in fact do become fuel for their anger. The longer you're there, they eat you up like you're charcoal. They burn right up on top over you because they're looking for reasons to keep their flame going. By going no contact, you're saying, I love you too much to be another reason for you to keep your anger going, right? Another way to put this is, I love you too much to allow myself to be a reason for you to be miserable. I love you too much for you to continue to be miserable because of me. Narcissistic people are miserable already. They're just looking for an excuse. So what you're saying is, listen, I love you too much to become another excuse for you. I'd rather you go on, we'll separate for good, figure out how to be happy, right? In a way, you're saying you deserve to be happy. It's not happening with me in your life. Go be happy while I go find my happiness. All right? Likewise, I love you too much to present myself to be a further excuse for you to be angry. We talked a little bit about this, but it's true. They're constantly looking. Narcissistic people are angry people. They're constantly looking for a reason to justify their anger. So going no contact is you saying, I can't justify that for you. I don't want to. I care too much about you to justify that. Okay? And then obviously, it's an act of love towards yourself. I love myself enough not to allow my character to change by being with you. Because when you are in a toxic relationship with narcissistic abuse, you run the risk of your character changing. And you should love yourself enough to not allow that darkness to take you over. Listen, I want to help you understand these principles even further. Down below, you'll find access to one-on-one appointments with me. Telephone calls, WhatsApp or FaceTime video calls are available. My calendar is down below. In addition to that, you'll find access to Monday Night Live Chat. Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship. And also follow me on Instagram at Join the Royal We. And I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.